The universe and the Andronicus transmissions on Wolf Spirit Radio, Ever Beyond Radio, and Studio 9 Jam on YouTube. With your host, Jessica Ariel Morocco, featuring JP as the voice of Andronicus. Please visit www.readingsbyrael.com, that's A-R-A-E-L.
From the future, by way of the past. I bought my ticket for the 15th century. We started moving through a hole in history.
You're listening to Wolf Spirit Radio.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today at Answers from the Universe and the Andronicus transmissions. And, this, another interesting day and some new information as usual coming in and keeping things alive and helping us to understand what's going on around our planet and beyond. There's been some, quite a few different things that I've been looking at. And I even, recently had a friend send me something. And I just want to welcome in first JP. Hello, JP. How are you?
Hello. How are you today?
Good. Now, I'm looking at this. I haven't sent this to you yet. It was something about the horoscope. They want to change this? Here's
your horoscope for today. It's your horoscope for... It's the Ophiuchus.
Yes.
Trying to include Ophiuchus, trying to squeeze in another 13th sign so everybody has to jiggle up and make room for this rather awkward, probably a bit LGBT, probably not quite politically correct sign. And everybody's got to make way for it. All right.
No, I object. I think we
I
all
do
should
too.
Object.
I like 12.
I don't know who this man is with the snake between his legs, but
well, it could be Andronicus. Sounds like Andronicus, doesn't it?
No, I mean that's obviously not the part that I'm objecting to, but I mean, first of all, he's not a deity. Can at least have someone that has some integrity. Amenhotep or whatever his name is. I don't particularly care for him. I've communicated with him, and he is not a nice being, whatever he is. So the fact that they were referring to him, of all things, on that's around my month.
Ooh.
Because I'm a Capricorn, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. So no.
No,
I'll
you object.
take the goat. I'm not taking him.
Stick with the goatfish.
Yes.
Oh, well, it's not, it used to be the speed of light, absolute constant. Now it's not what it used to be, Now, planets, Pluto, not a planet anymore. No, it's unfair.
No, they keep on messing.
Yeah, they're messing with the definitions of the star things.
Give us a real star. Give us something. This character here is, not something that I want to emulate.
And no one can pronounce his name properly anyway.
No, it's a ridiculous name. I mean, who are the brilliant ones that put this together?
I don't know. It's probably the Cabal.
It's probably the Cabal. Or someone that's just mocking us.
Yeah.
I mean, let's find a name that's just ridiculous to say, and,
yeah, what's your sign? I'm Ophiuchus.
Yeah.
Ophiuchus. Yeah. Ophiuchus.
The snake holder.
The snake fellow, yes. The handler. Ophiuchus, the CIA handler.
Sorry.
I was born under the sign of the handler, don't you know?
That what's crazy is there's probably more truth than they think.
You miss me? Did you miss me?
Yes. I want to know if Eric is going to show up today.
Oh, Eric. Eric. Let's see if Eric's here.
He threw off Max last night in the Max Steel show. Eric from the land of Eric. Was it planet Eric?
Eric from the planet Eric. am the star, Eric. I'll have you know.
Well,
So
Eric,
anyway, we may hear more of him later.
I know.
Because I got a new Tektatron voice. I got a new
You're gonna
Tektatron.
have to put on your Tektatron voice, and I will say, JP, you get lots of compliments, but there are people critical of your Bane interpretation.
Well, you know, I didn't know who Bane was. I don't watched all these movies. Yeah, I just did my thing. So I did some research.
YouTube.
Jessica.
Watch Batman.
Yeah, I know. When do I have time? So anyway, I did some research. Okay, so let me just read the first line of Tektatron's thing today, just as a test to see what you think of this. All right. Hang on. Let me just switch on this electric plastic megaphone. There you are. Why have you been avoiding me? I told you I wanted to speak with you. How's that? Is that
it's sort of.
Is that more Baney? I was trying to get. Do you know how it works? Do you know how to get?
I like it when you kind of draw it out a little bit.
Oh,
I thought you did a great job.
There you are. Why have you been avoiding me?
Yeah.
I told you I wanted to speak with you. Is that better? Is it?
Yeah.
Is that,
yeah.
Okay. So this is a it used to contain pasta, I think. It's a jar. It's a large plastic jar, and you just.
Yeah, that's what it is. I like the other effect that you had.
The other one.
Yes.
Well, this is the opposite of Eric. Hang on.
It's the opposite of
Eric is here, one.
Ooh, that's reptilian. You're getting closer to Archon. Yeah, that could be some kind of robotic thing. Yeah. Alright, it's satanic.
A little bit too much. A little. Yeah, I've got an echo. Too much.
Yeah, the echo could be hard to understand, but I like
How about that then? This is very Hitchhiker's Guide. Hang on, no, not this one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah, it's got lots of echo. This is, yeah. Oh, this is more like it.
Yes, that's it.
There you are.
Yay,
Now,
yay,
let's see.
all right.
Let's see if I add the Bane echo. So I'm speaking to the jar and the microphone as well. Anyway.
Meanwhile.
That's actually what Tektatron sounds like to me.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
So he's not really Bane, but has a little bit of a Bane. So if you're trying to emulate Bane,
All right.
Bane is Bane from Batman.
Yeah.
But Tektatron sounds like that to me.
Right. Okay, so I'm kind of getting it right anyway.
Yeah, you were getting it right. It's just that they were trying to fit you into the Bane box.
Yeah, no, we're not doing Bane. We're doing Tektatron, who's not Bane.
That's right. That's right. You have your own expression.
Yes. I don't have Bane damage.
No, you don't.
Hang on. Let's just see if I can lazily wander over to the drum set and go. There you go.
Yeah. I think we should have a petition against this astrological sign.
Mm.
And I think that these people need to come forward and display their shame.
The campaign for
Trying to
real
use
astrology. Name them and shame them.
We need to expose these people for trying to humiliate all of us Capricornians and Sagittarians.
Oh, you poor goatfish arrow archer thing people.
Yes.
And it's actually, what's interesting about this sign, this magic sign, this is the one that contains the center of the Milky Way.
Well, then call us the Milky Way.
Yeah.
That's better than, something fluffy and nice.
Yeah. You see the point, hang on, what is it? It's where the arrow of Sagittarius and the point of the scorpion's tail. So it's actually on the other end of Sagittarius.
Okay, is there another name in there that they could pull from?
I don't know.
Aside from this one?
Yeah, there's some such nice goddess names that you could have, aren't there?
Goddess or God or just something, stellar.
Yeah, just not geezer with a snake.
Yeah.
Geezer. Snake geezer.
This is wrong.
So I've had too much coffee today, and I've had palpitations, and I'm sweating slightly.
You're in full form now.
I'm full form. Yeah, I got a vehicle for the escape of this energy. So should we do some reading before I have an aneurysm?
Well, since you're in the Tektatron mode,
Okay.
yeah, let's take a look and see what he's up to.
Okay.
I was going to get into the chat room here and say hello to everyone. Thank you for listening in. And for those that listen in on YouTube, we love you. Thank you for being a part of this, and, continue to support us. And if you want to support anything or have a session with me, contact me at www.readingsbyariel. That's ARAEL.com. And of course, the information's on the website for Wolf Spirit Radio. And you can contact me there in that way. And if I have missed anyone that has already tried to connect with me, please just reconnect. I got very busy there for a while. Alright. Where are we?
Are you ready?
We're ready. There he is. Okay.
There you are. Why have you been avoiding me? I told you I wanted to speak with you.
I'm here. I saw you yesterday. And, by the way, what were you doing in the Hollow Earth? I saw a large ship there from Alpha Centauri, and I watched as they were neutralizing the effects of strange implants on the tall whites and the Dracos. And also, as I was observing this happening, I noticed that Ares, or Adrian, being set free from another ship as if he was held there by a magnetic pull that was tugging on his armor that was secured, and then finally it kept from disabling him as I observed him in the power that he was released and then finally was set free. So tell me, what is going on? Why was he held captive again?
I thought I'd told you before that he has to be monitored while he is in my system, just as you are or anyone else who comes to my domain.
But you were in the Hollow Earth. How is that your domain?
It isn't, but that is where Adrian wanted to go. He said he needed to see everyone and to see if they're all right.
Well, I'm glad to hear you let him go. Did you need to come with him?
I wanted to meet all of his friends and invite them to join me in the future.
But you control whoever is a part of your reality.
It is that way, so I can see what everyone is doing. Each one who joins my universe in your future is required to check in with me. We can have everyone taking control. Each is already capable of controlling their own galaxy or universe for some. We can't have too many leaders. It would be utter chaos. Isn't this something we are trying to avoid?
Yes, but what makes you the prime creator of that universe?
I didn't say I was the prime creator, but I am the source of this reality. I create the reality and maintain it with my power. You are free to enter, but you must abide by my rules. Aren't you already submitting to another system or various systems on your current planet of much lower intellect than I have? Clearly, you are slumming it a bit, aren't you?
You do have a way of saying things that can really get under my skin.
I'm merely speaking the truth. Adrian now agrees with me after he has visited your planet. It is lacking so much wasted time on distractions, disagreements. You don't enjoy the planet as you should. You're not fully happy. None of you are. Only a few are selected to join me in the future.
Are you saying that you are the only future reality?
Well, not necessarily, but I have the best options available at this time. Your present reality is doing so much damage to your own existence that whatever wonderful things were planned for you may no longer be at your access. Humanity does this to themselves. I, on the other hand, came from a reality where things were much more logical, sensible. We were realistic about our capabilities and didn't hesitate to change some things regarding our anatomy to align with new environments and create a more resilient existence. Let me show you. My eyes can sustain the heat and fire of the sun. My limbs can bend and move in various ways, making them impossible to break. This is not metallic matter, as you suppose. I have re-engineered myself after I analyzed the original flaws or limitations created by the first engineers. I am substantial in all arrangements and notions. My mind's the one area I have not tampered with, because I am satisfied with my method of logic and process of thinking. You have potential, you know, as do many around you. Those who seek to sustain their existence must and will do so.
So, are you observing us now?
Yes, and I've made my assessments. I see that you need some assistance. You see, I don't want your race to fail. I would like to see them survive. I can only take in so many into my universe. It is vast, but concise. I don't want the workload of managing many who still need to learn. For that reason, I will help many of your human species thrive by assisting. Some of the factions who visited your planet were limited in logic, where they kept creating scenarios where there would be continual calamities. This has caused a lot of grief, and even worse, taught humanity to not manage things sensibly, and exposing themselves to many opportunities of self-extinction. I have decided to lend a hand to help them realize this. Many were programmed to cancel each other out, destroy or be destroyed, never thinking beyond this mindset. This is the thinking of the lower species with little intellect at all. Why would humanity or other species fall into this folly? It is utterly absurd. They can call me their father if they want. I am here to help.
So what will you do to help?
I am assisting the Alpha Centaurian ship to find the anomalies, imbalances, and injuries of the white Nordics and their strange behaviors. I've also created a communication with the Alpha Draconians. At first, they challenged me. I told them, I am indestructible, and gestured for them to come near to me. Take a look. They gave me a badge of brotherhood. I am making many friends. I told them to make things more peaceful for you and your people. I know how sensitive you are.
Okay, well, that's good. So, can we anticipate more peace?
Yes. Tell your friends I am just observing, nothing more. Consider my request to be recruited and selected into my universe.
I always feel very different when I get out of Tektatron's metal suit.
No.
Organic metal suit.
I know, huh? He is in a metal suit of some sort. It looks like metallic, but Yeah. And what does Eric think about this?
Oh, I don't know. He's off somewhere. In a.
Well, what do you think about this?
Well, Tektatron is created his own universe, and he's only wanting an elite few to come in with him. And
Yes.
he's offering a safe haven, so he says. But what he's saying is he doesn't want anybody to be a leader. So everybody's a follower of him, even if
Yes.
they're leaders and all this stuff. So that sounds like a bit of a bullshit universe for my liking. Just my personal opinion. What do you think?
He's off recruiting, and so apparently there are those that want to be a part of it.
Well then.
I asked him that when he was telling me about it, I'm like, he only wanted like a certain amount. He gave me a set number. I don't know if I should say it, but, and I was like, well, what's the purpose in that? He said he didn't want to be teaching people. He wanted the ones that are already taught and know what they were doing.
Oh, yeah, he wants all the good, really well-trained ones.
Well, the ones
That's
that
not
have
fair.
learned and evolved.
Yeah, there's not going to be any trouble to him. That's not fair. No, he's got to take his lumps. Sorry.
So he says the rest of them, I asked him, I said, is this the future, the only future reality? And he said no, but he said, unless there's some form of intervention, that, we're going to be limited in our options. And so we need to be responsible for the things that we're doing. He said, essentially our behavior right now on the planet is from, beings that are of lower intellect. So we've adapted those behaviors from them, and we're not living on the higher level of consciousness where we're able to communicate and interact. Instead, we're on the pinnacle always of self-destruction. And, it's a fight or flight type of, process, which he's saying is, that part, why haven't we evolved past that? So, and I had to agree with him. I was like, yeah, I agree. We should not be at this juncture right now where we're looking at, possibly some very, very serious events happening because the people in charge, the leaders of our nations don't know how to communicate, and that we keep selecting these people who don't know how to communicate, and we keep on looking for, different ways out.
I think we really have to stop the mafia being in charge of everything. Really, that's the big thing. That's what the problem is. It's an enormous
the cabal.
It's an enormous mafia stroke cabal stroke Vatican kind of stroke Roman Empire stroke Aldebaran Empire thing.
The old ways.
The white Nordics that you mentioned, those are your Aldebarans, those pesky Aldebarans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's who they were. That's who he saw, and there were implants in them.
Yeah. Those are the AI implants that turn them into bad people.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that's the problem with the Earth is like, it's not the humans, it's the implants that we've been, and the influences that are making us bad. We could make a brilliant place if we weren't being, farm for louche, basically.
Mm-hmm. The black goo, all of these other things that have been here to influence our experience.
Yeah.
And not allowing us the reign of free will, which is if we are not exercising our free will, then how are we supposed to evolve? And if we can't evolve, how can we ascend? So, it becomes this perpetual problem which has kept us backwards and not enabling us to move forward. But I believe we're going to break through that. I honestly do.
Yeah.
And I think that some of this communication, even if you like or dislike Tektatron, for me it was very honest. And he was pretty much laying it out for us. Well, you have this option or this option, and right now you're even diminishing that option. And so at this point right now, because you're self-destructing in many ways, that maybe the potential is to come into my universe. And, of course, for a lot of people, they'd be like, no, no, don't let that happen. And, of course, he's been, trying to recruit me, and I'm not really sure what he's all about, but I said, of course, I'm not interested in any type of, control system, which that also feels like, although, there's many belief systems that in our future, that there have been movies done regarding this, kind of Big Brother control where I forget the name of the movie, I think it was Tom Cruise, where they can see your thoughts. They know your thoughts before you get there. So
Vanilla Sky. No, Minority Report.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, that's kind of what he's talking about, which could also impact us in any future scenario.
Yeah, well, it's still singularity, transhumanist sort of ideas. And, how is he going to ensure that these leaders of universes are going to kowtow to him? He's going to implant them, Really great. Yeah, I don't want to go there. Anyway.
So we have to make sure that, we do create our own.
Yeah, because that's the alternative.
What we're creating, we need to step up, stop allowing all the other species that are coming in and supposedly influencing and running, and get rid of the implants and get rid of all of the artificial intelligence, and just evolve the correct way. Yeah. And that will alleviate a lot of problems. So, back at the ranch.
Meanwhile, where to next?
Okay, segue to, let's see where they want to go next. What do we have? I think we had Rhodan, but let me pull up Rhodan. Rhodan, I had a kind of a heart-to-heart.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Not ready. You're ready and I'm not ready.
Makes a change.
Let's see. Random reasons.
Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Then I had the very strange conversation with Helios.
Oh, yeah. Are we going to do that? Are we going to read that one out?
Yeah, we can read that one out, but it's a little difficult to read. I still haven't formatted it yet because I was channeling this. Okay, so we have Rhodan 39.
There we go. I'm in a high place with high intentions of light surrounding me. Nothing can withstand the notion of love and the power of light. Light reveals all things and those things that choose to lie wait in the darkness. The light exposes and brings to light all truths. Despite many attempts at separation, we are all one. We cannot be separated from one another. How can one flee from his own shadow?
Oh, like Peter Pan, full of mischief, hoping to release himself from his entanglements to the dark. Yet he symbolically reminds us of our shadow side. So tell me, is it important to be honest about who you are in your intentions, or appropriate to hold on to the shadows for protection to our own imperfections and inequities?
You already know the answer to that, but have exercised your right to oppose the light at times. You have a mixed experience here on the planet.
It is good to be truthful about my state of being, even if that means to admit my contrary side. I suppose I have seen enough of it in my lifetime.
It is always good to be truthful, but never good to justify bad behavior. It is true that you are like children to us, always learning new things along the way. Yet a brazen attitude could get you in a bit of trouble. Try to see it from our perspective. If everyone behaved like there would be a lot of problems on your planet. Oh, sorry. If everyone behaved like that, there would be a lot of problems on your planet. Are you understanding my point now?
Yes. We are all stepping into the contrast, and that is a reason why our planet's in chaos. I thought we could blame you instead.
You could do as you like, but it will never help you learn.
Rhodan, we know of your stories and exploits. Does the apple fall far from the tree? Is it possible we are dealt too harshly for our escapism and rendezvous to other experiences, not necessarily on the straight and narrow? It is wrong to feel angry for a moment. I'm not saying to brood over it, just a little dabbling in the emotions for a while, or saying a thing or two that isn't nice or inappropriate. Why scale to be perfect? We know that that can't be achieved.
You admitted your rebellion and time in the contrast And now you are taking a look at your options going forward. You couldn't escape much of it.
Why did you send Mirren to me after me, to harm me?
I didn't. She was in her own experience and trying to take over the planet. You were getting in her way.
I don't want the planet. It belongs to the people, to the humans. She wasn't fighting against me. She was fighting against humanity. Besides, she's a little creepy.
I don't know what to do with you, Sima. You are stuck in your own thinking. You miss the bigger picture while you examine the means they are using to get there. They are contrasting beings. It's normal for them to be profane, vulgar, or obscene. It is normal for them to lie, cut, harm, torture, abuse, mutilate. That is what they do, and why they are disliked on all realities. Yes, they provide a cover, a mask of their intentions. But you dissect that and identify them by their behavior. Nightmarish, you call it. Horrid, abusive. They hear you. I suppose on some occasions it did make them step back. You shamed them for the horrible things they did. However, others seem to enjoy doing it all the more. And Mirren was one of them.
Tell me that creepy beast will leave me alone now. Why didn't someone step in to stop her from dominating the planet with her disturbing influences, now that I can see what she was doing?
Humanity had to stop wanting this reality. When you, as a race or species, choose something else, much of it will go away.
Some people will be angry at me for saying this because she was Dag's mom, and some really liked Mirren. In some ways, she was a mother to them.
Dag was very angry at you because he knew that his mother would be ultimately sent away. What he ceased to realize is that she attacked many others like yourself, and she refused to listen to anyone. He will get to see her and spend time with her, and then he will leave her just like everyone else. She is not willing to see anything aside from her own gratification and desire for power. She lacks the love she needs. She lacks the love he needs. He has me by his side now. He has many others who love him. She was never there for him and left him abandoned on so many lonely nights when he needed her the most. It was I who helped him to excel and develop his skills to sing to the masses. It is I who helped him to sing from his heart and share his pains, passions, and love with the people. He turned out to be a great teacher. He turned out to be a memorable part of humanity. Had she spent time, she would have made him walk along the shadows like she did. Again, no apologies and no remorse. Let's move on and continue to establish a more secured planet for humanity, shall we?
Yes, I agree. Still no one fully understands where I'm coming from. I want to be truthful, even if it hurts. Even if it's not popular. I don't want any more negative karma.
Very well. And so shall it be. They may agree or disagree, but in the end of it all, they will know you were honest. Honesty does have its values. Try not to mislead any, if it is at all possible.
I'll be mindful of that. Thank you.
Go now. Your work awaits you. Well. How did that feel when after you spoke to him?
I felt like I needed to have that conversation. Yeah. It was honest. It was tough. Keeping in mind that, he once held her very close to him, and he loved her at one time. But as I was seeing in visions, one after another, she kept on showing up around me. Remember, I don't know if anyone remembers, early on in the transmissions, I said for some reason I saw the vehicle that I was calling the High Brass Isle, the High Brazil, was a brass, it's like a spacecraft.
Yeah.
And I saw it come over to my area, and then I realized some of the difficult things that I had going on here, I was able to track her behind all of them. And I said to him, what is this all about? And I thought it was personally against me, and it really wasn't. It was more of she wanted something that I had, but it wasn't necessarily she disliked me, but she seemed to just be in the contrast. But she was causing harm to me personally, and then I was like, pretty upset about it. So we had to have that conversation. And so, making it public, this could have been one of those many things that is between me and him, and I left it at that. But because people have mentioned Marin to me, and the reason why, he had problems with her and I had problems with her is because she had made a definite stance to stay in the shadows, to be in the darkness, and to not open up her heart and to grow. And people are welcome to pray for her and to ask her to go into this other space. But right now she's in the shadows. And while she's in the shadows, she's doing damage. And so, I had to say something.
So, what's the state of play now? I mean, is she still on the loose?
Yeah. Yeah, but, when you put a spotlight on the darkness, what happens?
All hell breaks loose.
Yeah, or
they go scattering.
They recede back into the darkness, so they step away. So that's why they tell people to stay in a higher state of consciousness. So, because if you're in a higher state of consciousness, your light is there, and it's harder for them to approach into your space. But if you're in the shadows, then they can easily move through that space. You making it easier for them to access your personal space. So it's and it's not easy to stay in that higher state.
Oh yeah, every moment of every day, the Cabal have set it up so that everything triggers us. Everything.
Yeah. So trying to work through all that. Now, is it possible for her to be restored back to original state? Because everything was created by the divine, right?
Yeah.
So it's a matter of, that's between, Rhodan has, full knowledge of it. And because she comes from a place, I don't know her complete origin, way back in time, but she has abilities that we don't. I believe she shapeshifts. I believe she does quite a bit. And, is misusing her power. And of course, nothing ever good happens. They have their moments where they're able to persuade and manipulate and, to integrate in a way or even, harm certain situations, but then, they get found out and become, either there's a taken somewhere or, kind of locked in their own space where they can't harm anyone else in the process of what they have to go through. So I don't know all the different varieties of scenarios because they don't fall in the same category as humans. And so I'm assuming that there are different guidelines.
Fascinating. So,
yeah.
Where next?
Let's get too deep. Okay. We got. Well, we
only
have
got 2 left.
We have Andronicus. Yeah, this is a time of the heart. I think there was a lot said on that. It's sort of working through those emotions and how we're behaving and treating each other, and seems to be the theme of this week.
Interesting, yes.
Yeah.
And children watching, unable to, and in a way we're like, as he says, we're like children to them, and they're doing their thing, and we're just kind of watching vaguely, trying to understand what the thing that they're doing is.
Well, what's interesting is I was, here is a scenario with Andronicus and a child was me, so you just kind of, without reading it, we're going to address the whole thing of a perspective of a child here.
Beautiful.
Andronicus, I'm glad you are here now. tell me how this whole thing turned out, the situation with the simians.
They're behind us now. I don't want to look there any further. Unfortunately, many of them are still out doing a lot of damage to other civilizations as well as humanity. I'm just glad to be free and safe from them right now, as they were very upsetting to all of us. It's their behavior, so needy, so aggressive, so unreasonable and corrupt in thinking. It's something that set off many alarms and worry. You, on the other hand, you as a child, muted from speaking, seeing the whole existence before you with clarity, yet unable to share with any. None took the time to speak or even try to communicate with you. I sent you to them, an evolved society, or so it seems. They were so self-serving and had little love or compassion for an outsider. I thought, since you looked similar to them, you would be understood or comforted. When I found you, you were staring at the sky, awaiting a craft to come and take you. They didn't know how close you came to exiting. This is what I saw when I arrived. You were so distraught, set apart, unkempt, not eating, dehydrated and sorrowful. When I picked you up, they were jealous that I cared for you. The women all wanted me to be their mate, to couple with them. I discovered that there wasn't one fit to assist you. There wasn't any element of maternal love, selfless love and kindness. They all wanted to be worshipped for being attractive female. They all competed and cut each other down, trying to raise themselves as having more beauty or intellect, charm, what have you. None of it was worth anything to me without kindness and love. What they did to you made me weep. You saved me from sharing my power with another domineering, harsh spouse. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorrowful for you as well as myself. You are as my own child, the child I never had. You are as my own blood. You see things very similar to the way I see them. It is not just about being a mate or coupling with a twin of like-mindedness. It is about caring not just for ourselves but for others. This is what I am always about. I collected plants and edible life to sustain so many. I benefited little for this task. I helped councils to see the priorities of communication and harmony. Excuse me. I ventured to far-off regions to establish colonies. I ventured into the future to prevent horrible events. I even spent many experiences learning my own lessons and how not to be. How to not be. Now, I am satisfied knowing that many are beginning to learn from me as well as others I have crossed paths with. I love you. I love you all. I see you all. We are all one.
Thank you for caring for me and saving me from that heartache. I'm convinced I felt that pain and sorrow recently as it paralleled my present experience. The tunnel that I was driving through, where I heard from you and saw what happened, where you were trapped, and I had these visions of seeing you with the simians. This was all real to me. It created a torment so great that I considered running to no definite location, just giving up and hiding away. That was my feeling. Amongst other things, now I know why. Isolation is a cruel thing. It was a form of autism. My heart cried within me. I was a prisoner from within. What we could learn from that. Thank you. I love you, Andronicus. You are my teacher, love, and friend. Thank you for paving the way for me and others.
I'm here for you, just as you've been here for me. I also hear others call upon me. I'm grateful for that. You are my family and friends also. I love you all. Right, I'm feeling a little faint, to be honest.
Put some music on.
Yeah, I'm going to put some music on, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Here's some David Bowie, as the world falls down. I don't have the recording, but I could. They're saying the stream's working. Hang on, let me just reconnect the streams. Hang on. Group disconnect. File stream. Group connect. There we go. Okay, that should have reset the stream. Good. Where were we? Yeah, I don't think I've got a copy of that recording.
Oh, I thought you saved it.
No.
Recorded it, no?
No, I would like to. Somebody did. Somebody was playing with it. I can't remember who it was though.
Really?
One of the
That
listeners.
was
Yeah.
the one that I,
Go ahead.
are we alive?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
on now,
Yeah, we're live. Are they
All right,
moaning?
so
Yeah.
I was at the, was it the Exeter, UFO? It was a UFO, not sort of like a fair, but there was, speakers and so forth. And I received a phone call, and then, I went to check the phone call, and it sounded very robotic. And so I was like, well, what is this? It was just and it was, no one spoke, and it didn't seem like there was any other kind of background. Mm. So when I noticed in the chat room, someone was talking about getting phone calls, some ETs, and, there was probably some extraterrestrials there at this fair. Mm. And so I said, well, maybe someone's trying to contact me. But we had the footage. I haven't played it. I thought we kind of listened to it briefly, and you were not quite sure if that was anything other than, it was just kind of unusual sounds. But it made me think that it was Tektatron trying to communicate.
Because
on another level.
There's this thing, like, you can hear this kind of thing. Now, I've messed about with audio for years, right? And I know these things. What they sound like. That sounds like slowed down speech.
Oh, okay.
And you can get a slowdown if you're sampling at one speed and playing back at another. Sometimes how the radio, when we flip over and we change stations, they have a different sample rate, and sometimes they come out, they come out like Eric, or they come out like Tektatron,
Yeah.
Too high and too
definitely.
Low. Yes.
We have someone that, I think it was Paul, that said he might join, he might go to that Tektatron. He's gonna join Tektatron's reality.
All right.
It's Paul's gonna join. I think, Vanessa said something funny in here. No, she's usually, he's very controversial. Oh, they were saying that you sounded like, the Emerthers when you were doing, Eric. And there was also some, and we also want to make sure, because they were hearing my voice a lot stronger than yours. So I don't know if the levels were off. Right, Eric?
I always get the levels wrong. He's only human, that JP. He's not extraterrestrial like we are. Only human.
No, I don't think that's not the way the Emerthers sound, by the way. People are wondering what they sound like. But that's a fun voice.
I love that voice.
No, it is. I like Eric.
Yeah.
But the Emerthers are sort of, I can't do it. I know Peter Berger has it down completely, I want my tea, he kind of does it, because they like tea. They like tea.
And these are the guys that have the, really ordinary names like Paul and Gary, isn't it?
Yes, they're like...
That's why I called him Eric, because
I
kind of hooked into that thing.
Yeah, they like common names. Yeah. Gary was one that kept on coming around me, and it's, and for a while they were saying, where's Gary? And it's like, I don't know where Gary is. Where's Gary? And then I asked someone, and then they got offended that I brought it up, and, so anyhow, they're very likable. They have, kind of, smiling faces. One of them they call Smiling Bob, or... yeah.
Smiling Bob, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's famous for, as one of the Emerthers.
Mm.
And I've seen them before, and, they like, Italian disco. or as Peter says, Italo disco. and when you shut it off, if they're dancing or whatever, they get into it. Mm-hmm. And, they'll get angry if you shut that off.
Oh, funny.
And one time I was speaking, and they really wanted coffee, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get you coffee? You know, I didn't know. I was like, somehow they were asking for coffee. Typically, they like tea.
Oh, sorry. We ain't got any tea.
British, yeah.
Yeah, bloody hell. It's a bit much. Yeah, especially if they're called Gary and Darren, you know. Oh, dear. Hayden and Jaden.
Hayden and Jaden.
Anyway, so shall we hit the troubadour?
Yes, we're gonna. Yes.
Oh, hello, flower. No sun out today. Looks a bit cloudy and sorrowful, maybe. How are you today, my love?
Hold on.
Are you lost?
Yes.
Are you lost on your page?
I'm fine, just assessing what I need to do today, nothing more. I see that you are seated on a boat.
A rowboat, to be exact. You see, I haven't gone very far. I'm not interested in rowing, only lounging. I'm hiding from my wife. Go to work.
Is this Jane you were telling me about?
Oh no, it's another one. Phoebe. I never liked that name. She was always so pretentious, but quite a looker when she was young. I'm afraid I spoiled her then, and now look what I'm left with. I became the artful dodger.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
Oh, yes, familiar, but true. Try stepping into my shoes.
Meetis then lifted his shoe, and a big flap of leather torn out that was hanging over the top but not supporting his shoe. The look on my face drew attention to his shoe, and he quickly put it down.
I hardly thought about it. I thought they were a bit breezy and lightweight. Hey, boy, have a pence. Sell me your shoes. No, you bumbling fool. Go on and work for it. Oh, they don't raise them like they used to. Such bad manners. Boy, come here. I've got a magic trick for you. What now, you vagabond? Give me more than that and I will lend you an ear. Tell, why doesn't your father send you to Oxford? You are a stellar specimen, quite suitable for Oxford. You think so? I shall consider it as an option. Here, take my shoes. They don't fit right anyhow. Well, off you go, young man, with a shining future going nowhere. La 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 la.
Meetis, that was horrible. You just tricked him and used your ability to persuade him.
Ah, do you remember him? He was the same boy from the other time period I had asked to exchange shoes. He hasn't learned much since then.
I know, but that doesn't make it right, Meetis. How are you teaching him?
No, I'm not. If he learned his lesson, he would not have had an encounter like this with me again.
So you're a part of his karmic lesson?
I am allowed to fulfill that role on occasion.
I see. So, is this the reason why I'm not speaking to you? Why I am speaking to you right now. Do we have karma together?
Oh, absolutely not. Now, give me your shoes.
Meetis, I'm serious. What is this arrangement here? I've been sharing your messages for over a year now. And what do you have to say for it? I will say that some are very entertained by you.
And? Yes? What else? I have a striking personality as well, don't I?
Yes, you do.
And my looks are quite attractive. Aren't I lovely? Blue eyes and blonde hair. Watch as I bat my eyelashes. A pretty boy, they call me. Still very much a man. I can't keep the women away.
I know, and you are a seductive charmer as well. I'll bet no one says no to you.
Very true, but that's not exactly what I want. It can be tiresome just to have everyone go along with my rubbish.
Why aren't you amongst your peers instead?
Well, because there would probably end up being wars. We have a lot of unresolved issues that plays out with my difficult personality.
It has been a hard experience for all of you, I will say. It's been hard for me as well. Do you feel happier just traveling, no commitments, no specific agenda?
Oh, I have an agenda. I'll always have an agenda. Despite my appearance and seemingly floating through time, I do want to spend time with humanity. They're all like my children, even the unbridled ones. Sometimes I find them more interesting. There's the spark of rebellion in them. This is something I can relate to and reflect on many of my own decisions.
It's a lot like watching someone fall from a horse. You know they don't have control, and yet they continue on the wild path without foresight. I say, travel the road more travelled and not less travelled. You may have a unique encounter, or you may get hurt. I've seen so many get hurt and fall into many unnecessary difficulties and hardships when going off seeking adventure. It's not for everyone, and only a few can take on such a task. I, of course, can take on all of it, but still, I have learned much by observing and keeping a lower profile than in the past. You know my name is Meetis. I have had many names to different people. Yes, an artful dodger I was, but also the troubadour of troubadours, the fanciful artist and actor, the storyteller and wise drifter. To the higher-ups, they find me threatening and lower their eyes when they see me. I take as I want and do whatever I shall do. I know this isn't right. It's just to let them know that I'm around observing them. After all, many of you benefit from my cascading visions, beckoning gestures and voice that commands forth the trumpeters to call all to attention. Anyhow, I like the soft breeze upon my face. It makes me feel alive and well. I think I will go in and break up that party now I have a new pair of shoes to dance in. A scarf, a jacket, a wig, and what? Snuff, maybe. Bit of lace maybe for my jacket. A pomander to freshen my scent. Now then, tuck in my shirt a bit, tidy up. Sparrow, you Sparrow, send back the messages for me. Let them know I will arrive soon. Maybe you will join me there. Come see. Don't I look dandy?
Yes, you do. Where did you get that hat?
I have a chest hid beneath the bridge.
Beneath the bridge? Do you live there, under the bridge?
Well, of course not. Do you think I'm a troll?
Why would you have a chest of personal belongings there?
I have a stash of goods in various locations for convenience sake. I can't let my wife know about my lovers or my other whereabouts. You're judging me again.
I didn't say anything.
You did with your mind. I can hear you, Flower. It's all too real sometimes, isn't it?
I know. It is. I mean, this is how it plays out. Do you please, do as you please, Meetis. I'm just an observer.
Oh, you're much more than that. You're a player in this game as well. Look at Primus. He is also out and about. We know where he goes on our lands and countryside. Nothing escapes us. He's all okay. Many travel and are about. We see it all. No sophisticated means, just our knowing. Anyhow, we're off. I have a bit of convincing to do to the local men. They have high expectations of me. We are about to write the laws for the City of London, and it makes a big impact.
Do they know who you are as an astral being, a visitor?
Most do not. Only a few know who I am, and I'm going to keep it that way. To some, I am Mr. Black. They think I am evil. They don't understand me very well. I'm really a jolly, playful chap. Unfortunately, they bring out the worst in me. Enough of this for now. Here, my love, a song for you, tied in a big blue bow. Lovely as ever. Okay. Alright. So, hang on, let me just, I got to reformat this. Control C, file new, page setup. Page setup, landscape.
Yes.
Come on. So anyway, how was that? So that was quite interesting. Okay, we haven't done the song yet, so let's just do the song. Oops, where it's gone. There we go. Oh, how interesting. If anybody listened to Two Dogs' poem, there's some common themes here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have I ever told you of my love? It isn't a flower of white-feathered dove. It has a great promise and a wondrous display. This is my most favourite place to play. Oh, blessed isles overlooking the sea. Oh, blessed Atlantis, how you used to be. I drift and I fancy I join all who will prance with me I love the blessed isle by the sea. The kingdom of blessed men and women be. The angles they step and the picks that they jump. The Scots they can pull out the mighty stump. And the gales did write and receive from higher ups. And the cherubs did speak as the Celts bent their knees. A sacred earth now inhabits many of the three. Three mighty ones stand, and a Welsh to lend a hand. The Cornish now know to stand strong as they go. I love my beloved countrymen, true to the end. But just for a sweet moment, I will reach out to hold your hand. Thank you, Flower. You've been a true friend to me. Stand strong and don't be worried, and all will be well.
Thank you, Meetis. Take care of yourself.
There we go.
There we go.
Hang on, let me just, I'm all tangled up in my headphones and I can't remember which way I put them on. I think guitar first. Yep, guitar first.
I just want to remind everyone that there'll be the Interstellar Council coming up next after the show.
So there will be.
And so, yeah, we're going to stay tuned for that. And maybe we can go into another music break. I had one other thing that came through from Helios. And then we'll bring that into the discussion.
Okay. So now this is something that happens kind of on a very impromptu thing. We were having a conversation the other day, if I remember correctly, and you were in a bit of a tizwas, sort of not quite up, kind of a little bit up in the air, and suddenly you got this insight and started typing out and making connection with this new character.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know really how or where or, just like anything else. It was like, I had a complete clarity of it. I could see it. And, I wasn't very happy. I was just, not that I was angry at anyone, but it was just like, kind of emotionally drained or, just.
And we were all tired at the weekend. It's been some very tiring times. Like I say, it's tiring to be a hosepipe.
Yeah.
Nobody ever asked that.
Yeah, it is, but and it's also, we know that there's solar flares going on and different things happening. And people that, like myself and you, we spend a lot of time helping others and their stories are sad. Their stories are of pain. Some people are feeling psychic attacks. Some people, have physical issues and health problems. And, so there's a lot of different things going on that are really challenging for people. And so the ones, that actually are doing sessions and helping others, you kind of take some of that energy on and you have to sort of let it go. But meanwhile, it's totally human. It's okay to have these emotions. It's okay to kind of go through this process. But, then somewhere you have to just release it. So that's kind of where I was at. We were just talking and I'm like, I'm not really in the mood for anything, but, let's talk a little bit. And then boom, out of nowhere, here comes this shining, bright being by the name of Helios. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And it's also, I don't know how to interpret it because it sort of seems like we're implying, a religion or a belief system, and it seems to be echoing some, biblical terminology. But, I just want people to be open-minded and listen to what came through because, somehow it just came through. And and I don't kind of judge it and restrict it and prohibit it because it starts to fit into something that maybe I learned when I was younger or whatever, but I try to keep it open for interpretation and for people to look at it and see how they feel about it. So it's just a matter of sharing the information, not any type of indoctrination of any sort.
And the other thing, there was it was all connected in with something else that was kind of going on with us, and that has just completely slipped my mind. I remember
the crossover. It was all about
it's
the crossover.
all the crossover. It's all the crossing.
Yeah.
And I actually picked up some other stuff from my guides from like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, that was just exactly about this, and all about, like, you know, when you doing journeys with people and you exchange your divine masculine and feminine and all this stuff. It was a very interesting thing.
Did you, before we get into that, I saw something about people were asking about what Two Dog, did you have that poem?
Oh, Two Dogs poem. Hang on, I'll ask V if she, can you post GD's
I see Meetis
poem.
with Two Dog duet.
Yeah.
That's what Vanessa said.
Yeah. Well, it was just like, it was just some, you know, it had doves and it had all sorts of, you know, parallels to this last thing. So it's the theme of the week. And so I've just asked Vanessa to post she's got it somewhere. She's got a little file. She's got it able to post it into the chat room. So yeah, it's you know, how everything all ties up. Everything's relevant to everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Themes of the week. What were the themes of the week?
Themes of the week is well, I don't know what you're
memes and
getting
things
from
have
all
you
the
had?
different shows. Yeah, from the different things that are going on with different shows.
Yeah, and stuff that turns up in your daily life. All right, here we go. We see the dove that reminds us of love, the desire of us all. We hear the call that we can never fall. I ask the world to dance in a good way, as we say. There is nothing we can't do. Even a flower has power. So that's Two Dogs poem. So there's the dove and the flowers and.
Yeah, Two Dogs is channeling. She's got a little bit of a Meetis conversation.
Meetis in him.
Yeah, and you know what? These are benevolent beings. I mean, even they might be a little bit sarcastic and have their own little attitude.
A little snarky.
But you know, if they're talking to you, they're talking to you. And I've had a few people say, "Oh yeah, I've been talking to Rhodan," or I've had a relation, you know, communicated a bit with Andronicus, or you know, I got something from Kraton. Yeah, I've had different ones. Not too many talk to Tektatron, but who knows? Who really knows, you know, in the future what some of the stuff just opens right up.
You
and yeah, that clearly sounds a lot like Meetis,
Paul.
although I'm not going to take that from her to let her decide whether or not it is.
Well,
but thank you for sharing it.
Thank you, Two Dog. I was just going to say maybe Paul will come back and report back from the future.
Yeah, Paul, if Paul's out there,
Yeah,
unless
see
he wants to join us in a conversation.
Yeah.
Where's Paul at?
And
Paul, why don't you call in?
Yeah, call Paul.
He's probably gone now. I know he's working, but I saw him earlier on the chat.
So, where are we today?
Yeah, I think another, let's see. Yeah, another song.
So
and let me go. I have an email that I received from.
So you haven't got the Helios message. You don't want to read
I do. I'm going to send that over to you. So
okay, you send it over while I put a song on. So that's a good idea. So I tell you why I have loads of David Bowie. I downloaded 16 gigabytes of David Bowie's material. That's like 16,000 hours. It's almost an entire lifetime. I don't know how we managed to produce it all. So anyway, where is it? That's the one.
Okay, so we're back. And hello everyone. We're back again, and JP, are you there? I think he's there somewhere. So just, hello.
Hi, sorry. just
Okay.
visiting the boys' room.
Right. So I want to
The
share...
little boy's room.
Eric. Hello, Eric.
So yes, meanwhile,
I received a message from someone that was listening to the show. I just wanted to read it. It was an email before we get into Helios. She said, hi Jessica, hope you are keeping well. I'm sending, this is on the topic when we talked about the crossing. Okay, so this is going to lead into Helios. I hope you're keeping well. I'm sending this email as I've just listened to your show, Answers from the Universe, Andronicus Transmissions, and felt strongly that I needed to say that I completely agree with you what you said today. Let me explain. I'm not a psychic, intuitive, or particularly spiritual. I'm not chiefly scientific either, and in fact, I don't really attach any specific label on myself, and I have no skills or personal experiences in these areas. However, I have been very interested in the paranormal and spiritual subjects for many years. I've been interested in astrology since the age of 9 and read hundreds of books in the New Age, and just also such as the law of attraction and out-of-body experiences, etc. In January 2013, my husband was away for a week, and I came across the subject of alien entities and filled myself with information about them, and along with the conspiracy theories and such. Since then, I have listened to many channelers and people like Simon Parks, Alex Collier, David Wilcox, and more, along with many radio stations such as World Spirit Radio. I have to say I filled myself with so much information over the past year so that I started to live in some type of fear, expectation, or frustration. This was due to what I was listening to, such as next month there is going to be a big eclipse, or our body is going through the DNA transformation, or changes are going to happen. There is going to be an economic crash. Get ready. Be prepared for this event. It was like I was constantly waiting for the next month for something to happen, and this was coming from all angles, different types of people, from YouTube, from Facebook, etc. Then suddenly it hit me. None of this was actually happening to me. I was living in fear, constantly living in the future and forgetting about my real current life. Nothing was actually challenging or changing in my outside world, but inside I was tormented. I was in all of these. It was all what I was seeing and hearing in the alternate media scene, but none of it was actually happening around me. I even began to wonder if the alternative media was part of the fear programming. It was all happening on the screens I was looking at, but I wasn't seeing, hearing, or feeling anything in my immediate surroundings. It was all hype. So now I feel it was important to take on the objective view. I'm still very interested in these subjects. I'm still listening to the videos and read the articles, but I don't let them affect me as before. A bit like we do when we go and watch a movie. It might affect us during the movie, but later we have forgotten about it. I'm still informing myself, but not absorbing it all. Now I feel it is important to stay grounded, to stay embodied. We are in this human vessels for a reason, to experience life and not to live in the ethers all the time. We are here to experience now and not live in the past or the future. I found myself living. I found the best thing for me to do is pet my dog and go for a walk in nature and take a sea salt bath, or without any gadgets near me, or even just to be in bed and think pleasant thoughts. I was feeling isolated by listening to these subjects, and then she talks about someone else that I can't mention. And I'm now, let's see. Let's go down a little further. I've been listening to many of the members who live in fear sometimes and are worried about, the conspiracies and the event. And it can be hard now because I feel like I'm saying to them, it is all a part of the illusion, even when I'm not completely sure that I'm right. I think I'm sort of a neutral position now, and I might have such insight as the next person who has no intuitive ability. But the added bonus, being able to step back and take an objective view and not worry too much. This may be where you are, Jessica. However, you have had enough intuitive experience than most of us put together. I'm not necessarily agreeing with her statement, but I'm just reading what she says, which is where it helps you. And as you have these experiences in your life, is no shock or trauma to you as much as it is to the newly awakened person. You know that these occurrences have happened before and will happen again. It is a cycle or spiral. You can take an objective view and help these people move out of their fear. You're using your own personal intuition and feelings that are what people would be best listening to, not propaganda and conspiracies from others in the media. This is why you don't feel that anything has changed, because you're listening to yourself. I have begun to listen to myself. I'm not intuitive, but I feel good now. I can go inside, check in my body and feelings, and nothing is wrong. There is nothing going wrong around me either. I'm not ignorant to what is going on in the alternative media. I just don't absorb everything I hear. I have been listening to your show since about every episode, since episode 8, and heard it back from the beginning. I look forward to your shows every week, and I'm grateful you're doing them. Now I download the show and listen to it every Friday while I'm at work. I put on the magazines in the Walmart and pharmacies, and it can be quite surreal while listening to your show in those very commercial stores. Oddly, I was able to listen today, which is rare. I have been wondering at some time whether I have, she wants to have a reading at some point, but hold on a second. I don't have any pressing issues or problems right now, but I'm curious. I guess one question would be if I had some sort of connection. As you have mentioned before, the people listening to the show are most likely connected in some way. I guess this points to my human need for belonging. But other than everything else is fine. I want to thank you for your work and service you're providing. It is exciting and interesting, and listening to you and JP, funny and entertaining too. I love it when you both get into a giggle together. Thank you so much, and warmest wishes. So I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was really wonderful.
Very sweet.
Very, very sweet. These are the type of people that I've connected with since doing the show, and I'll tell you what, that a letter like that makes me feel like it's worth it.
Oh yeah, really a warm feeling inside.
Yeah, and there's so many that I have this feeling with that, whether you're in agreement, disagreement, it really doesn't matter. I think that it's sort of an expression. I even appreciate the expressions that come out in the chat room. And I appreciate even some people, kind of talk to me like, well, Jess, it could be this or this. And I appreciate that too. We're all looking at things from different perspectives, and I never just shut it down and say, all right, well, I don't know if I agree with that, or I know it all. I mean, clearly I don't know half of what people think I know, other than, I'm getting the information at that moment and I'm sharing it with you. So, sometimes it's good when people contact me and help me to decipher or look into the levels deeper. I know that Viking has done that with me quite often, and there are a few others that will contact me and say, yeah, by the way, I was seeing this and I'm glad that this came up, and I've had a few of them on the show to comment on it. So no, this is really wonderful, and I want to share that. And then now I think you got the information, JP,
yep,
of Helios. So now
okay.
I have to get it myself.
Okay.
I'm right behind the ball.
While you were talking, I was removing all of our, the little time codings and names that Skype puts in. So,
wow.
do you want me to send it back to you?
Sure, that'd be awesome.
Uh-huh.
But we can read it straight through here if you want.
Okay. So let's just say that. Okay, so let's just come from the entrance of Sun God, yeah?
All right, so here I am. I'm looking, and I get this full vision of this gigantic man, and he's standing in the center of the galaxy, almost like if you lined up the planets in full alignment, where they actually create a bridge, right? You can walk right across. The sun being the end point, and he was halfway up, which I'd have to look at the planets to see where that is, and then up to Earth, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was beyond Earth. I couldn't tell, but I just saw these planets lined up, and he stepped through them, stood in the center, and then created this circular vortex around him where he was expanding in all different directions, north, south, east, west at the same time, and maybe even south and north, or even, above and below at the same time.
All 6 directions.
Yeah, yep. So I heard the name Helios, and I knew something was coming in. I could feel the energy coming through, and I looked it up, and Helios was there with 4 horsemen. And I was like, wow, isn't that interesting? Oh, 4 horses. And then in my mind immediately went 4 horsemen. I heard 4 horsemen in my mind.
Excellent.
And then I said the entrance of Helios has done something to our planet. And then I said, is it an apocalyptic sign? The entrance of a sun god or sun gods. And then I saw Apollo. And then JP, you said,
you saw Apollo, I said the 4 horsemen, and you said the 4 horsemen. I thought that's my thoughts as well. Apollo appears. Go ahead.
Then I said the entrance of the sun god or sun gods and Apollo, and you said new sun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said Wikipedia calls Helios Sol, also calls Sol Invictus, that is equivalent to Jesus. That's what Wikipedia said. The entrance of Helios, another Titan, or possibly Jesus Christ. I wasn't sure.
And I said, really?
And he is saying, I'm coming home, or go ahead.
All right. I'm coming home to my people and gathering them with a blanket of love to help usher them home.
My response, what are you saying? Is this the entire earth, your home, or your family?
No. My children know my name. Some come from other tribes and peoples, but all know my name, the Light Bearer.
How far are you from us?
Many light years away, but I arrive in a flash of light, like the sun reaching down to reveal a bridge to your planet. It will be apparent. Many aspects of me have already arrived. I will once again become complete and override the darkness of chains and sorrows upon the planet. Many will know me by name.
He begins with the line, many light years away.
Yeah.
Are you around us now?
Yes, in many ways already. You are hearing from me from the left and the right, but none can put a finger upon me to know that it is me just yet.
Did the alignment of the planet make it an easier crossing or pathway for you?
Yes, this is the time when I become as one, since I had gone forward and backward in time and eclipsed all realities at once to share my messages of truth and love.
The eclipse, you said. Is that now? Most recent?
Everything is aligned, and I could see all aspects of myself clearly. You don't need to wonder or feel any confusion. It is all well now. I am whole, so you can be whole. I am your light bearer. I am your coat and arms. I am your truth, and you are my messenger. Some aspects of me have already been in touch with you. You have been my assistant for a very long time, and I will assure you it has not been in vain as you had spoken these very words today, as if your life had no purpose. You were chosen to carry out this message for me, as I am coming into one as we speak. The gathering. In the end, there is one.
Many of those around you. Oh,
no, many of those around. Sorry, I'm talking to myself here. Many of those around you will also take part in the connection. It will assist and inform you of all truths and mysteries you had not known. A part of me goes back in time to correct a point in time. Another shapes the universe with love and good tidings. Another speaks to children and families. None of my children are left behind. I have been around for a very long time, but on this occasion I am collecting into one, yes, one, but ever so brighter and kinder and purer of myself, whole and with much uniformity and congruity. I lift my eyes to great things, and I am so blessed to walk as one, feeling whole, as you are all becoming whole again. Take my word now. I shall watch over you who have been in much pain and sorrow. I will wipe your eyes and send peace to your souls. You, as a child, will feel the comfort of the Great Father from above. My fragments are diminished and then reset to cloister and form as a magnificent collection of light bodies all at one time. You are part of this collection. It was your voices, your prayers, your desire for the truth, and your steadfastness in love that helped bring this about. Some of you found every aspect of me and tied me in your hearts like small red threads of truth bound to the soul. I am one with all of you.
I can feel your love. It is so far-reaching and profound that I can barely imagine it. Can you tell me why you're so full of love, unlike others that I've spoken to?
It was you who chose to have me in your lives. It is you who asked for the master teacher, the aspect of the upper carriage of truth, the holy script to be expounded upon, and the vibration necessary to cause a cosmic force unlike any other. I am the way, the truth, and the light. I am you, and you are me. We are all one now. There is no other reason to seek me out. I'm here within your hearts. The darkness had to let go of you today. I know you didn't see or feel it, but they had your soul. You were as a hostage, but not anymore. I have liberated you from this. The journeys are not in vain. The journeys are truly from within. No anxiety, it is all being lifted from you. Step into the light and allow it to take you home. Then show others the way to me. Kutumi has now entered the gate. Sananda is now at the gate. Siddhartha is now at the gate.
When will this process be complete?
When the sun rises and sets 7 times up the uppermost point of Aries. This was my most challenging aspect, the warrior.
It is raining now. It hardly rained for months.
It is tears of joy to be whole again. You will all feel the same. I'm leaving you with a guide to assist your path and journey onwards. It is guidance, a voice with many reflections in one. He will bring peace and confidence to many. He will rise unexpectedly, and at the height of his fame, he will leave it all and turn into the desert. There he will open the sacred books and read aloud to all who will listen. Then he will close the books, and the beginnings of time will surrender its dead. The chambers within the chambers will open. It is the depths within the depths of mysteries, and all shall be revealed like a flash of light or reflection of time for all to see. As soon as this is fulfilled, yes, another will rise from obscurity and become well known. He will weep and tell stories of love and kindness, giving and trust to humanity. Then he too shall disappear, as if he walks right through the walls. The last one comes in like thunder and leaves as a lamb, quiet, gently and nurturing. Afterwards, many begin to awaken. The combination of the 3 energies break all programs and restore the quantum field to its original state. The communication grid becomes more clear and the hearts of mankind will open. Then I will enter in. You are my voices. You are all here to do the work I have shared with you throughout time. Now is your time to be in the place of love and divine light. Bask in it and rejuvenate your weary souls. Amarantha, kingdoms without end.
So,
Helios, huh?
Helios. Yeah. And you look it up, was as a sun god. Well, the sun. I don't know. What I would like to do is Viking. We're going to introduce this to Viking, and we're going to expound upon it and have more deeper discussion as we go into the Interstellar Council. So unless did you have?
Yeah. So should we finish up and then play a bit of music and then bring the council to
Yes.
to order?
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay. So let's just put this on, and thank you very much, everybody. This was the Andronicus transmissions.
Yeah.
Of the
Thank
week.
you, everyone.
Oh yes. Hang on a second. Just getting the bumper. Outro.
We came from the future.